It's Deep Focus. I'm your host, Mitch Goldman. This was from August 19th, 2024, a Monday night. And my guest was Melvin Gibbs. Our subject was Sun Ra. Sun Ra in Brooklyn, in particular. Oh, really cool, interesting stuff. All right, so this is part 2 of 3 parts. If you did not hear part 1, I would go start with that. And then listen to this, and then part 3. And, but I'm following you. You're driving. Okay. Dig it. When you listen to the podcast.
All of this will be edited out. Right. No one will know.
That's right. Be a mystery. Okay, speaking of mysteries, hey, we're in San Francisco at the old Waldorf. Got it right that time. April 4th, 1981. It's Deep Focus. Our guest is Melvin Gibbs. It's WKCR.
you point to greater height. The spaceways are not so far. When vibrations hit your heart, your world becomes a star. No matter who you are, they say that you are a pleasant sort. When you get vibrations from an asteroid, is waiting for the sunrise, for the sunrise. The world is waiting for the sunrise, for the sunrise, for the sunrise, for the sunrise. In the world lies in darkness, darkness was ignorance, so long came light. When the world was in darkness, darkness was ignorance, along came light. When the world was in darkness, darkness was ignorance, along came light. When the world was in darkness, darkness was ignorance, along came light. Some call me Mr. Rob. Mr. Rob! Others call me Mystery. Mystery! You can call me Mr. Mystery.
Music from the magnificent and spectacular Sun Ra that you've almost certainly never heard, unless you were at the Old Waldorf in San Francisco, April 4th, 1981, and that was selected by our guest tonight, Melvin Gibbs.
Yes, I'm here, and I'm thinking of the fact that the entire student body of the school was not even, their parents were probably just born. This is some long ago music, but it's still pretty current in its own particular way.
I agree 1,000%. To me, it sounds fresh. Maybe that's how old I am. I don't know.
It is definitely fresh music.
The show's called Deep Focus, and what we do, we invite a guest into the studio, and the guest chooses music for our delectation, and we've been through a whole set of Sun Ra Omniverse Orchestra, this San Francisco date, but we got more. We're just actually, this is right at the midpoint of the show, Melvin.
Midpoint of the show.
Melvin Gibbs is playing at Sisters Brooklyn tomorrow night, Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. I have to say all that because, I don't know, you might be listening to the show on the Deep Focus podcast, in which case That's in the past tense.
Exactly.
But in this time-space continuum, in which Sun Ra is still present, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. It really is tomorrow.
Yes. For those who are listening live on the air, the show will be tomorrow in Brooklyn.
Yes, and not to be missed. And that's at 900 Fulton Street.
900 Fulton Street, Clinton Hill.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier, Melvin's not always heard in these climes of late, but still making music. And I know there are listeners who are saying, yeah, but what about Harriet Tubman?
What about Harriet Tubman? We've got a couple of irons in the fire. Harriet Tubman, for those of you who don't know, is a group a collective that I am 1/3 of, along with guitarist, singer, composer Brandon Ross, and drummer, composer J.T. Lewis. And we've had a few records out. It's been a while since our last one. We are currently in the process of mixing a record that was funded by Jazz Roads. Yes, Jazz Roads, South Arts. That is the three of us with the great singer, producer, keyboard player Georgia Ann Muldrow. And that will be out. That will be done. The mechanics of it will be done hopefully within the next month or so, and then we'll have to do the whole business rigmarole and get it out next year. But before that, Tubman is participating in this concept that the great composer Henry Threadgill put together, which is called Baker's Dozen, where he got 13 different groups to contribute music to this, I guess it's a comprehensive compilation of his best love New York groups. And that's going to be out on Bang on a Can's record label.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that will be released in November. And Tubman's contribution is a live show we did in Denver some time ago, before COVID.
Oh, okay.
That has, it's got a bunch of stuff that, we've recorded, and a bunch of stuff that, Tubman's thing is spontaneous composition, so there's a lot of spontaneous composing on there. So that's our contribution along. I have to be honest, I don't remember who else ended up in the first batch of stuff. But the sort of push for the thing is going to begin in September. So you'll start hearing more and more about it, and the release itself will be in November. So that's the next thing. As far as Tubman is concerned, those are the next two things in the irons.
Did you read Henry Threadgill's book, Easily Slip Into Another World?
Oh, yeah, it's a great book. I love it. And I was pleasantly surprised to see my name in there. I was kind of like, what am I doing in here? But I'm in there, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the Left Hand Frank thing. No, it's really a great music book. I really enjoyed it. And it actually set a high bar because I'm actually working on my own book right now. So that's the other reason I haven't been doing so much music in the last year and a half, because I've been concentrating on getting that together. But I'm kind of in the final stages of pulling it together now. The title of the book is going to be The Science of Black Music. And I'm talking a lot about the two big buckets are the geometry of rhythm and the black music in the West as an evolutionary process. And I hang those two concepts on sort of my biography and all the different kinds of music I've done, and how I figured out how to do all the different stuff I do, and how I managed to be credible doing different music from people all over the world. It's like my whole thing is like growing up in Brooklyn and playing music for the different Caribbean communities. It couldn't be like I was like some hippie visitor. I had to actually be authentic with whatever music. If I'm playing with a bunch of Haitians, I got to sound like a Haitian. If I'm playing with Jamaicans, I got to sound like a Jamaican. If I'm, so it's kind of like figuring out how to do different forms of music authentically kind of gave me an insight to I helped me figure out the structures of those different musics, and that's one of the things. That's kind of the context for the science part of the book.
Do we have an idea of when that might see the light of day? People might
hopefully sometime next year.
All right.
Hopefully, if I get it in, if get it in this year, hopefully it's like a 6-month turnaround and it'll be out sometime next year.
Melvin Gibbs adding another slash before his name, slash bassist, slash band leader, slash composer, slash.
Yes, throwing in the slashes. Well, slash. I mean, I've written before, but a full length book, that's a pretty big slash. And yeah, it's hard work. And it doesn't. You got to get up and do it. It doesn't do itself.
Well, writer is one slash, author's another slash.
Exactly.
But I love your writing. You are very got a skill with the word and conveying your ideas. It's looking forward to reading that.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's a fun thing. It was one of them things I was holding, for like late career, unquote, because a bunch of people wanted me to do it back in the 90s, and I was kind of like, I got to have another, I got to have that one last, trump card to throw out when I get, and I hit the late career stage. It's like, okay, and that's the one I pulled out. So, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm actually pretty happy with what I've gotten, and I think because all the things I've done have been so all over the place, I think it's a pretty interesting, frame for a bunch of stuff that hasn't really, if anything, I kind of had to go back and forth with myself in terms of traditionally some of the stuff that I write is stuff that kind of musicians kind of keep to themselves kind of. But I also, there's a point where I just get tired of like reading criticism and the critics don't know what the hell they're talking about. So I'm kind of like, well, if somebody's going to get to define this, it should be somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. So excuse that. Who knows what the heck?
It didn't happen.
Who knows what the heck they're talking about? So I kind of broke code a little bit and wrote about some stuff. But, in the meantime, I found out that a lot of people are, a lot of people have thought about these things. There's a lot of different. So it's, I'm actually interested to see what the response is going to be from the different musicians who've got their own ways of thinking about these things,
Yeah, get the conversation going.
Yep.
Absolutely. Melvin Gibbs, our guest in the studio tonight. It's WKCR. The show's called Deep Focus. And I asked Melvin, who are we going to talk about? Who are we going to listen to? You said Sun Ra, and I went into the WKCR archives, and I found some stuff, man. So we listened to the first set of Sun Ra in the Omniverse Orchestra at the old Waldorf in San Francisco, April of 81. The other thing we found was this set in Chicago a couple of years later, 84, with a significantly different band and some special guests. And we need to make a choice now.
Let's switch.
I had a feeling you might say
Smorgasburg. For my Swedish people out there, we're Smorgasburg out here.
That's right. So tell us, who we looking at here?
Okay, do I have that in front of
you? You have that in front of you.
That. Okay, yes, I do. This group features the man himself, Sun Ra, on piano, electric piano, organ, synthesizer, and vocals. And it says probably Ronnie Brown on trumpet and possibly Al Evans on flugelhorn. It's got Tyrone Hill on trombone and vocals. Of course, as always, Marshall Allen on alto sax, flute, EWI, and percussion. John Gilmore was still with us then, so he's on tenor sax and clarinet. He's playing EWI too, and timpani. Another person who was important to me, who I mentioned earlier in the show, if you were listening, Mr. Zane Massey on tenor saxophone. He's got Charles Tyler, who was one of the greats of the loft jazz era. Who had what was Charles's loft? I can't remember the name right now, but that's with Shannon Jackson. We had our rehearsals there.
That was kind of a surprise seeing him on there.
Charles Tyler's on baritone. James Jackson on, I don't know what BSN is. All the same stuff that he played on the other stuff. I'll read that back. Another person from my universe, Mr. Pete Cozy on guitar.
Also a surprise to me.
Yeah.
But well, you said you knew about that.
Yeah, Pete had told me that he had played with them, but it had slipped my mind.
Do you remember anything in particular that he might have told you?
About that day? Not much. I mean, everybody loves Sun Ra, so it was one of the things. I remember he said it was an enjoyable experience.
Did they? I'm so curious. Did he indicate that they knew each other from days of yore? Because they both were.
There might have been some family connection, not literally family, but Sun Ra lived in Chicago before he moved to Philly, so I think there was some 2 degrees of separation thing of some of his mentor people with Sun Ra, so there was a connection there. And Tyler Mitchell on bass, another one of the great musicians that I've had the opportunity to play with. Rashid Ali on drums on here. And Wilbur Campbell on drums, who I believe is another local Chicago guy. So this is a interesting kind of friends and family kind of band. I'm interested to see what this sounds like, actually.
Hold on to your hat. You ready?
I already lost my hat, but we can still hear the music.
All right, it's gonna be a bumpy ride in a great way. Sun Ra All Stars, the name of the band now. It's always a different name for the band. It's the Chicago Jazz Festival. We're in Grant Park on September 1st, 1984. And it's Deep Focus on WKCR with our guest, Melvin Gibbs.
of it here. And as you might guess, Sun Ra has already come out on stage in his gold cape and his red sequined cap and a gold peacock attachment on top, and now he's in charge.
You're in Chicago. Don't worry. Don't worry. We wouldn't let you miss any of that. We would not let you miss any of that. You know where you are. This is Deep Focus. That one was recorded August 19th, 2024, Monday evening. That was part 2 of 3 parts. So there's one from before this and one from after this. So you know what to do. And if you don't know, well, shoot, you should go and check out the subscribe to the podcast, Deep Focus. You can find us at the hosting site, mitchgoldman.podbean.com. Check out Melvin Gibbs' music for certain. And go find him when he's playing in your town. And go dig up more about this show at mitchgoldman.com. You can pull down the Deep Focus, About Deep Focus podcast, About Deep Focus tab. It'll make sense when you get there. There's also a search bar there. You can look for, let's say, man, this guy Melvin Gibbs knows what he's talking about. I want to find all the other Deep Focus shows he's done with Mitch. I want to find that Lester Bowie one that they were talking about. There's a search bar at mitchgoldman.com and pull down the About Deep Focus tab, and you'll find a little Google search bar there and some info about shows. You can chase that down, and you'll find that podcast and more. Lots of cool stuff. Oh, I want to hear other Deep Focus shows about Sun Ra. Yeah, there are some. Find the one I did with Craig Harris. But first, I'll meet you over at part 3 of this one from August 19th, 2024. All right.